Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to view this very, very special video of a featured piece that is a very unique item that will be part of the Dominic Winter auction, military aviation history, printed books, maps, and documents on Wednesday, February the 17th at 2021 at 10 a.m. This is a very unique piece that you can find more information about by tuning into their website, www.dominicwinter.co.uk. So let's take a look at this very, 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 very special piece. This is an original piece of art. There's not another one in the world like it. This was a special commission that was done in 1999 and features a Handley page Halifax B.VII that was part of 408 Squadron, or better known as Goose Squadron, that was part of the RAF Bomber Command effort. This Handley page Halifax serial number PN230 EQV was her code. Vicky, the Vicious Virgin, probably one of the most famous and iconic RAF Bomber Command airplanes to fly in World War II. This is one of the, this artwork was designed by Bert Scratch Evans, who was the bomb aimer of the airplane in 408 Goose Squadron. The nose art actually here showing Vicky in a scantily clad form. Was actually painted on both sides of the aircraft. This airplane was piloted by Ron Craven, who eventually completed 32 operations during the course of the war. Like I said, it is an absolutely stunning piece. There's something about a Halifax that is just awe-inspiring. Of course, it was kind of overshadowed by the more famous or more used Avro Lancaster. However, it was a very dominant force with a lot of the Canadian squadrons during the course of the war, and certainly had a very, very valiant record. So let's take a look at this beautiful piece. As you can see, you talk about surrounded in history. These are all original signatures in pencil that were signed by RCAF Bomber Command aircrew at the reunion in 1999 at the Royal Oak Hotel in Toronto, Canada. This piece was taken and was signed by each of the individual gentlemen that were attendees at the reunion. So let's just kind of take a look at this a little bit and kind of look at some of the more noted signatures on it. First of all, let's move down here, looking at Bill Waddell, who was a DFM in 420 Squadron. He won the DFM in regards to flying ops on 26 trips in 420 Squadron. And moving along here, we can also see this one up here of Jack Robert Bauer Binns, who was a 578 Squadron, a navigator who also won the DFC right up here. A very, very noted gentleman in 578 Squadron. And then moving to the left here, we'll see kind of a neat one here of Dale Smith, who was a POW on November 4th, 1944. Shot down and obviously spent the duration in POW camp. Most of the signatures, as you can see, the gentlemen have signed their name, obviously, and their squadron, and also I asked them to put down the number of trips or missions, better known in RAF lore as ops or operations. We can also see this one as a very special piece up here. This is WF Nick Carter, who flew in 7 Squadron in short Sterlings. He was a flight engineer and was shot down on July the 29th, 1942, making him prisoner of war for over 2.5 years. Then we can also go over here where we can see Squadron Leader Wib Pierce, who flew 36 operations, 30 trips in Halifaxes, and flew in 433 Squadron right down here. And then also Lloyd Wright, who was a pilot in 424 Squadron, flew 33 operations and also won the DFC. And also Stephen, I'm going to try and say Puskas, who was a pilot in 429 Squadron, had 40 ops or 40 trips or 40 missions, and of course was awarded the DFC. Probably the most notable signature on this piece, and kind of a rare one because I've never seen his signature on anything else. Probably one of the most legendary Canadian Pathfinder or bomber pilots to serve in World War II, and that is Lieutenant General Reg Lane, who signed it front and center. He signed this piece, Lieutenant General Reg Lane, three ops tours, or 3 complete tours. Reg Lane was born in Victoria, British Columbia, and he joined 3-5 Squadron in the fall of 1941, flying Armstrong Whitworth Whitleys. On March 27th, 1942, he participated in an attack against the German battleship Tripitz in the Norwegian fjord near Trondheim. By the end of his first tour, General Lane was awarded the DSO and promoted to squadron leader. Coming back for his second tour, he joined 405 Squadron and became the acting commanding officer. Upon his 65th mission or 65th operation, he was awarded a bar to his DFC, rightly so, and is an absolute legend in Royal Canadian history, or Royal Canadian Air Force history and World War II Bomber Command history. Let's take a look at the piece. First of all, how big is it? Let's measure that off. I've got a kind of a rude way of doing that in a tape measure, but I think the viewer can see that the piece is roughly 30 inches in width and roughly about almost 12 inches in height. So a nice size. It's got some good borders to it, which obviously would be very nice in regards to putting a beautiful mat and possibly incorporating something along the lines of some RCAF memorabilia or additional signatures or crests or what may have you. I counted this up, and just roughly, there's roughly 70 signatures. And again, this is an airbrushed painting that was done in acrylics by the artist right here, John Civallo, the year of 1999. But just look at this thing. With doing it in black, just kind of was a boring scheme, but you can see that you have a little bit of a light shadow coming from underneath it, which certainly brightens up the black bottom, obviously, which was synonymous for night flying and night attacks. B.VII, the Vicious Virgin, in terms of the hand painting of the nose art, I don't think you can do better than that. It's absolutely stunning. And then, of course, the dark green brown scheme on top. The turret is very nicely detailed with the glass, just a nice hint of a kind of a light blue or a kind of a cast to it, just to kind of give it some depth and some field. The shadowing and the highlighting on it is just absolutely beyond words. It's just a beautiful, striking piece, and a very, very, very historical piece indeed. Once again, this will be a featured piece on the 17th of February of this year, 2021, at 10 a.m. at the Dominic Winter Auctions. Their military aviation history printed books, maps, and documents at 10 a.m. in Cirencester, England. Will be an online auction, obviously with the COVID world that's affecting the UK right now. It's going to be a virtual or online auction. More information and how to get on their website is featured at www.dominicwinter.co.uk. Thank you so much for tuning in this piece. I hope you learned something in regards to the history of this one-of-a-kind, very, very unique piece of artwork. And thank you so much for your attention.